All right. So, welcome to the miracle work today. It was a great start of our class of our moment together to become still and dive deeply in the light that is just present. It's so beautiful to become quiet and see that everything is opening up already. So, and then you say like, well, why don't we stay in that? It's like, well, that's also a possibility, but Um, besides having your moments of light and silence, it is also good to take a look at, say, the immensity of what is given. It's like so much given. And in order for you to open up your consciousness as much as you can, beyond what you're used to, say, to increase your enjoyment of this all altogether, um, it is really like really works if you say clean your mirror if you want, um, to be to make it, yeah, to allow a change, to allow healing to occur to you just by um, letting that happen, in fact. So now it's not that we have to look for it, but it's going to be presented to us. Like, it's, if something needs to come up for healing, it will come up, and that will be, um, saying that will be perfect timing. In other words, when it appears, when it comes back into your awareness, there's immediately the right learning condition to let the change occur, to allow the healing to occur. So you're used to the ideas of, maybe not now, maybe later, or maybe this is not the right time, or da. But see, if you become quiet enough, you see that it's perfect timing. That the thing that you don't want to look at, for instance, or that you don't feel like changing at all, is actually presenting itself in a moment that are actually perfect learning conditions. That's why it comes up. And there's always healing going on in that sense. So it's like you have your moments of light recognition, of actually coming into communication. That's really wonderful. That's really great. At the same time, there are certain things that are presenting themselves in your daily life, in the way that you deal with persons, situations, and events, and that ask for you to, uh, yeah, to allow something to change. And so this lesson that we're looking at today, is part of that too. So it's lesson 164, the daily lesson. And we come to that in a moment. And the one thing that I want to do first, as in preparation, or let's read this one more time kind of thing, is the introduction to the workbook. Now, the Urtext of A Course in Miracles has, say, 7 volumes. The regular, like the blue book, like it's here, well, there's not really blue anymore, it's a bit pale, like a moon, has 3 parts. Well, actually 4. So it's like the textbook, the workbook, the manual for teachers, and the clarification of terms. So there are 4 parts in it. But the Urtext has 7 parts in it, like this one. 7 volumes. And so what's the difference then? Well, the 7 volumes, the first 3 are, it's like pretty much the same, except there were no changes made in terms of editing the text as it came down from Helen Schuckman, and from Jesus to Helen Schuckman. And the last 3, say, volumes are actually a Song of Prayer, psychotherapy, and one more. I forgot the title. Song of Prayer, psychotherapy, and I will look it up in a moment. I'll get back to you about it. But anyway, so there are 7 volumes. Also the clarification of terms. That's also a part. Just for the record, just that you know. So part 2, volume 2 is actually where we take a look at today. Let me see. No, not the manual for teachers. No. Okay, I'll look it up. Just one moment. It's not so difficult. The Gifts of God. Yeah, that was the one. The Gifts of God. The Gifts of God, Psychotherapy, and Song of Prayer. All really beautiful booklets to read. You can also get them as a separate booklet. But in the urtext, they're just all in one thing. So that's why I love it too, because I use all of it. So like I said, we go to section 2. Volume 2 is the workbook, where actually are the lessons. Lessons 1 to 365 for 1 year, every day a lesson. And the introduction is really beautiful. And it's also very essential to read it. In order for you to do the lessons the way they are, you have to do them, you know. And there's a presentation of the way that you learn now in your new, say, on your new path. You learn in a different way, and that's going to be, say, exposed to you too in the introduction. Workbook, urtext. Well, I use the urtext then, so you can do the blue book too. It's pretty much the same. There's not so many changes. And I'm going to read this to you, just so that you have heard it. See, it was downloaded on the 26th in 1969. It's like, I always say, like, say 5 years after Joel's passing. A theoretical foundation, such as the text. Yeah, a theoretical foundation, such as the text, is necessary as a background to make these exercises that are coming up meaningful. Yet it is the exercises that will make the goal possible. So you need a bit of theoretical background, foundation, in order for you to have the exercises accomplish its goal. An untrained mind, like, you can read whatever you want, but if your mind is still untrained, you can accomplish nothing. An untrained mind can accomplish nothing. It is the purpose of these exercises in the text, in the workbook, to train your mind to think along the lines which the course sets forth. And the exercises are very simple. They do not require more than a few minutes, and it does not matter where or when you do them. You know, you can do it in the train, you can do it at your work, you can do it as soon as you wake up. They need no preparation, like you're always ready for one. They are numbered, running from 1 to 365. The training period is 1 year. And do not undertake more than one exercise a day. So the purpose of these exercises is to train the mind to a different perception of everything in the world. The workbook is divided into 2 sections. First, dealing with the undoing of what you see now, and second, with the restoration of sight. It is recommended that each exercise be repeated several times a day, preferably in a different place each time, and if possible in every situation in which you spend any long period of time. So you go out somewhere, you sit there for a while, then that would be a really good time to say, apply your lesson or to do your lesson. The purpose is to train the mind to generalize the lessons so that you will understand that each of them is applicable to one situation as it is to the another. Like, it really doesn't matter anymore where you do it and when you do it, as long as you do it. Unless specified to the contrary, the exercises should be practiced with the eyes open. since the aim is to learn how to see. Well, that's an interesting instruction. The exercises should be practiced with the eyes open, since the aim is to learn how to see. Unless it is specified to the contrary, of course. The only rule that you should be followed throughout is to practice the exercises with great specificity. I'll continue here. Each one applies to every situation in which you find yourself, and to everything, like with no exception, and everything you see in it. It applies to every situation in which you find yourself and to everything you see in that specific situation. Each day's exercises are planned around one central idea. The exercises themselves consisting of applying that idea to as many specifics as possible. Be sure that you do not decide that there are some things you see to which the idea for the day is inapplicable. The aim of the exercises will always be to increase the application of the idea to everything, with no exception. This will not require effort. It will not require effort. Only be sure that you make no exceptions in applying the idea. Well, once into the exercises, here we go. Some of the ideas you find hard to believe, and others will seem quite startling. It does not matter. You are merely asked to apply them to what you see. You're not asked to judge them or nor even believe them. You are asked to use them. It is their use which will give them meaning to you and show you they are true. Remember only this: you need not believe them, you need not accept them, and you need not even welcome them. Some of them you may actively resist. None of this will matter, nor decrease their efficacy. But allow yourself to make no exceptions in applying the ideas the exercises contain. Whatever your reaction to the idea may be, use them. Nothing more than that is required. I thought it was a great idea to read this again. It's like, oh yeah, wait a minute. I don't need to understand them. I don't need to accept them. I don't need to do anything with them when I read them. I just let it come in, and I do the exercises the way they are, say, I'm asked to do them. That's the only requirement. Making no exceptions, making no differences, not setting myself up that one situation would be better to apply it to, or my favorite situation I will apply it to. Like, no, none of these things matter, because none of what you think about anything matters. So even this too, it doesn't matter what you think about it. Your thoughts are, well, you know it. It's like, I don't have to use the word. My thoughts are meaningless. That's one of the lessons. Well, see, that's not a lesson that you completely accept immediately. At least most of us don't. So it takes a moment for you to see the importance of lack of importance in your thoughts. That's basically the whole training in the undoing of what you're thinking. Like seeing that your thoughts about it don't mean anything. That is not what it truly is. It is what you made of the situation. It's what you made of yourself. It's what you made of your brother. But it has nothing to do. Or it is what you made of God too, and love and all this. But it doesn't mean anything. And this is where the change occurs. So that's why they say, keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open while doing these exercises, not immediately closing your eyes. It's like, no, this works perfectly well. with eyes open, you literally start to see that none of this is so. And you will have your own experience with that. So you could say, like, when you close your eyes, unless it's recommended in the exercises, you're actually escaping your visual input. And escape will never be the liberation of it. It will always come back to you. You will have to see it one day anyway for what it is. That's all. So that is short, clear instruction today. So we continue with this amazing lesson of today. 164. So the lessons that are coming up to 220 is like up to August. Like this, the summer lessons are just absolutely fantastic. Like so great to do these, because they all are so full of possibilities for healing, for expanding your awareness, for coming into deep experiences of homecoming, for healing, for release of any kind of idea that you hold about yourself. It is totally amazing. So is the lesson of today too. Say distilled some expressions out of it. So I'm not going to read the whole lesson, but keep it really clear and simple, and also very beautiful, I can tell you that. Now we are one with Him who is our source. And this is in fact all that you need to read today. And letting that be your experience. That is all. So there's only one moment we can do this. And it's now. It's happening now. It's like now we are one with Him who is our source. It's like, well, you can't get any closer to that. It is our oneness that we recognize. What time, but now, can truth be recognized? Is there another time that you can do that? No, there is not. It's only now. The present is the only time there is. Truth can be recognized now. Truth cannot be recognized any other moment. See, that goes your perception or your future or your past. Truth cannot be recognized any other time but now. I love this. What time but now can truth be recognized? The present is the only time there is. It's happening right now. There's not going to be a better time to accept this or to experience this. Christ looks past time and sees eternity as represented there. Christ looks past time and sees eternity as represented there. He hears the sounds the senseless, busy world engenders yet. He hears them faintly, for beyond all these sounds of this senseless, busy world, he hears the song of heaven and the voice of God, more clear, more meaningful, more near. Christ looked past time and sees eternity as represented there. This is all with your eyes open. He hears the sounds the senseless, busy world engenders, yet he hears them faintly. For beyond all these sounds, he hears the song of heaven and the voice of God, more clear, more meaningful, more near. See, it doesn't say that you have to think a lot of thoughts and you have to come up with a lot of ideas about it. No, this is only things that you hear. It's listening. He hears the song of heaven and the voice of God more clear, more meaningful, more near. So close. Literally disappear into the closeness of it, the oneness with it. The world fades easily before his sight. Its sounds grow dim. Its sounds become so quiet. A melody from far beyond the world increasingly is more and more distinct. An ancient call to which he gives an ancient answer. You will recognize them both. Okay, one more time. The world fades easily away before his sight. Its sounds grow dim. It becomes suddenly so quiet. A melody from far beyond the world increasingly is more and more distinct. An ancient call to which he gives an ancient answer. An ancient call to which he gives an ancient answer. And you will recognize them both. There is a silence into which the world cannot intrude. It sounds... Wait. There's an ancient peace you carry in your heart and have not lost. There is a sense of holiness in you. The thought of sin has never touched. All this today you will remember. So there is a silence into which the world cannot intrude. And there's an ancient peace you carry in your heart and have not lost. There's a sense of holiness in you the thought of sin has never touched. All this you will remember today. So let's be still in this silence for a moment. There is a silence into which the world cannot intrude. There's an ancient peace you carry in your heart and have not lost. There's a sense of holiness in you the thought of sin has never touched. All this today you will remember. I love to bring this in as a continuation of the lessons. Like this is of course the theoretical foundation of the lesson, but it is so beautiful that I don't want to keep it away from you. So in the line of the silence that we discover ourselves to be, this is a total part of that too. So here we go. The thought God holds of you is like a star. The thought God holds of you is like a star, unchangeable in an eternal sky. So high in heaven is it said that those outside of heaven know not it is there. But still and white and lovely will it shine through all eternity. There was no time it was not there. No instant when its light grew dimmer or less perfect ever was. Who knows the Father knows this light. For he is the eternal sky which holds it safe, forever lifted up and anchored sure. Its perfect purity does not depend on whether it is seen on earth or not. The sky embraces it and softly holds it. Wow, this is so beautiful. The sky embraces it and softly holds it in its perfect place, which is as far from earth as earth from heaven. It is not the distance nor the time which keeps this star invisible to earth, but those who seek for idols cannot know this star is there. I love this. It's so beautiful. So this is what I meant in the beginning. It's like you have no idea how far your consciousness can open up, that even one expression of it can completely take you home. It can completely lift you out of every idea that you held before. That is so amazing. It's like you start to actually listen beyond the words, beyond all of that, but completely coming into the recognition of the truth of who you are. It's so beautiful. Like there's so many expressions that you can bring you home, and in fact everything can bring you home if, in that sense. But it is beautiful the way that's described here, which is a perfect like parallel to the or support for today's lesson. No? So it's unbelievable how this all works. And you see, I open up A Course in Miracles. After reading the lesson, I open up the textbook, and this paragraph that I'm sure I never read it before is coming to me as an extra gift. You know, this is always the unbelievable part of the, say, absolutely overwhelming grace that is available continuously. Like your cup runneth over is one of the biblical expressions, but it is like this. It's like there's no way that you can contain yourself when you start to open up for what is actually being shared. There's no way that you can know how to deal with that. No, it's totally overwhelming, but in a very pleasant way. Literally the earth disappears. Literally you're melting into the heart of God. That is the occurrence. There's nothing wrong with standing still and allowing that to occur. Nobody is stopping you. Nothing is preventing you from doing that. You know, so this is amazingly beautiful. Amazingly beautiful. And it is true. It is happening in you. That is so amazing too. Like you literally can do these lessons and actually end up in an experience of your celestial beingness. All right, well, it's a great idea. I'm like, wow. So yeah, my cup runneth over. How about yours? Are you good? Are you happy to hear this? Are you not knowing how to deal with this? Good, good. You're not supposed to know what to do with this. It's all right, but you recognize it for sure. And it's all you. It's literally you're the star on an eternal sky, and you have always been there. You never lost that. No crazy idea that you could hold about yourself can prevent you from being taken down from this eternal sky. That never happened. And this is given to you today to celebrate that, to deeply feel that. Ah, so great. So thank you everyone. Thank you so much for being here, for listening to this and allowing this, yeah, this real happening to come to you. See, it is the perfect day to let this happen. This comes up. This lesson is literally made for this day. Perfect. You don't need to accept the words some other day. No, this is now. It's now. It's happening now. And why not? Why not today? Why not today? There's not going to be a better day. So thank you so much. So I'm reading one more prayer since we're. Why not? See, here's another parallel. They come from always, come from everywhere. Today I wake with joy, expecting but the happy things of God to come to me. I ask but them to come, and realize my invitation will be answered by the thoughts to which it has been sent by me. And I will ask for only joyous things the instant I accept my holiness. For what would be the use of pain to me? What would be the purpose that I can fulfill with my suffering? How would grief and loss avail me if insanity departs from me today, and I accept my holiness instead? Father, my holiness is yours. Let me rejoice in it, and through forgiveness be restored to sanity. Your Son is still as you created him. My holiness is part of me and also part of you. And what can alter holiness itself? My holiness is part of me and also part of you, God. And what can alter holiness itself? Yeah, and expect an answer. Like what can alter holiness itself? Nothing. I can't remember ever reading it, but it's so beautiful. So I'm happy that we found it, and that was our gift for today. All right. Thank you so much for being in the miracle work. It was an incredibly beautiful, gift today. And I'm happy that you were a witness of it and that you participated in it and felt how the simplicity of the message, in fact. So thank you for your presence and hope to see you soon. Thank you.